If you are not doing this, you are not doing your work all day. Every time it changes directions, you need to know it. Every time it has a key critical area, you better have it marked. Now, let me show you what these look like, okay? Typically, when I put in gold, it's like its highest form of support and or resistance, right? So gold to me, right, like the gold standard is where there's probably going to be a hard bounce or a hard level of resistance. Now, where do I get that? I typically get that from previous days or where it kept happening over and over and over and over and over, which then means it's critical. And as you guys know, it will use it forever until it finds a new level to become a new high or a new low of, right, that resistance and or support. So you can see gold is critical. I knew at gold, everything's going to happen. And you can see here, all of this and this, all of this, this, and this. Do you see a pattern? So I already knew, and it did the same thing here. All of this, you can see where it touched it inside of here. So I already knew. So throughout that entire day, I knew it was going to be making moves against that. And guess what? If it hits these areas today, which it's already crashed below it, those are going to still be key levels, right? Now, you can see this white line. My white line was low a day, right? So this was my low a day. Now, what I typically do is I usually do this in red. And then my high a day, which in this case, it was still my gold line, but then my high a day is going to be green. So let me just say, this was just an example. This was my high a day. It'll look like this, okay? So as I'm trading by myself, this is what I'm starting to develop. Okay, high, low, key critical areas that I need to know when they touch these things. And then I start to develop channels, okay, throughout this whole day, right? So the first thing I do when it gets to a new area, like right here, see how I went back previous day? It touched here. It touched here. You see where it bounce. It did it again here. So this is really close. Look at right there. See it? Here. It did it here. See this little bounce right here? Ding. Do you see how each one of these is later going to become something? Now, here's what's funny. If I go back over here, I drew those lines from the day before. Do you start to see where it starts to make sense in our new area going off the old area? Do you see it?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, look at this,
Yes, sir.
right? Look at what it's doing. Do you see all this? Now, I didn't know what this was. I went back a day. I had no idea what this was, right? I literally just went back a day and drew this out. You guys saw me do that, right?
Yes.
And look at how it uses those as key critical levels for today. Now, it's going to do the same thing here, okay? Now, here's what makes this a little harder because it pulled so much. We don't get to use the previous day, which is really easy because then I can go, oh, here and here and here and here and here, right? That would have been great. Now let's take these out. Now, if it does end up going upward, okay, look at your first level right here. This was low of day yesterday. So guess what's going to be a big, major level of resistance today? See it? This one right here. Not this one necessarily, even though it will come into play later. Now this one is going to be my gold standard today because that was low of day yesterday. And this one will just be a normal level, just like it normally is. See it? Because right here, here, and here. Everybody catching this?
Yes, sir.
Now look at how this is going to
Yes.
play today. See how this is going to play? You're going to use this. This 448, because it's 2 cents off, but 448, watch. This will be a key critical level today. Okay, so if it comes up, watch for it to see if it's going to break it. If not, it's going to pull back. Now, because we cannot use the previous day, the reason you can't use the previous day is because there's no information here, right? We have no information, do we? See it?
Yeah,
I
it's
Yes,
can't,
sir.
I can't start drawing lines here to go, oh, where's it going to go? What's it going to do? What's it? Nope, can't do it. So this makes it a little trickier. We have information.
Okay, so you can use previous day if the information's there.
You have to, yes, you always do. Yep.
Gotcha.
You always go back until you have data.
Okay.
Now, we have data right here. We're going to use all of this. See it? All of this is going to be used today. Why? Because it's the next key critical level. If this didn't exist, we would have to go back until we had data. It doesn't matter how far back. You could go back 10 years. It doesn't matter. Everyone's going to use this data. If we didn't have it, we'd be back here. See it? And if we run out, if it keeps going lower than this, we have to go back here because guess what? That's the only next set of data we have, isn't it?